here's what we've been doing. I've been giving you numbers. You guys have been displaying them for me. Box and whisker, dot plot, and what was the other graph we went over the first day? Box and whisker, dot plot, and histogram. Okay, now what do these numbers mean now? This mean, the median, all right? Which one's the best to use? All right, that's what my it's going to be a quick one today. Quick discussion is going to be about. All right, you have these things called the mean and the median. In what scenario is it best to use the mean, and what scenario is it best to use the median to represent the actual set of numbers, all right? So I have a bunch of numbers here. I guess it's the number of passwords they currently have to remember. Great. All right, perfect. State the median number of passwords and the mean number of passwords. Okay, I think we can do this without the calculator, but we're going to do it both ways. All right, so can we do this without the calculator right now? The mean, as you guys have known for years, I'm sure, I add them all up and divide by how many there are. So go ahead, find the mean. And just like we did yesterday, without using the calculator, find the median for me, please. Find the median. Okay, so add them up, divide by how many there are, and then find the median, find the middle number. Okay, let's get this started off right. $21, the mean? 2 point, nearest 10. Sorry, we said round the nearest 10. 2.4. And how about the middle number, the median? How about the middle number? 14? Oh, look at that. Right off the bat already. 25, median. 3 point, sorry. 3.5? 2.5. Thank you, Hunter. 2.5. Good. Okay, everyone's all good there. All right, let's review how to find all this stuff on the calculator. Because yesterday, I did not mention the mean. That's on that screen too, where we found the 5-number summary. So here's what we need. I'm going to pretend I wasn't here yesterday. You lead me through how to punch these numbers where in the calculator to get to the 5-number summary, aka the median as well. And I'll show you a new value where the mean is. All right, so here's my calculator, blank screen, wasn't here yesterday. Where do I go? Stat, I have a stat button. I do. Where do I put these numbers in? Edit, yep. Oh, I have numbers in there, maybe from yesterday. Highlight L1. Yeah, here's the big thing I didn't mention yesterday. Please hit clear, because if you hit delete and enter, it will literally delete list 1 completely, and you'll just start with list 2, and that's a problem. Okay, so please watch what you're pressing. So clear, enter, I got it. Now where? Type in my numbers. 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 6. How many surveyed? 12. That's good, because take a look. I'm ready to enter in the 13th value. So that means I entered 12. Just take a quick peek above. Make sure you didn't add in any digits, because that will throw it off. All right, all my numbers are in. Where do I calculate this whole median business? Where do I go back? I wasn't here yesterday. Where do I go back to calculate all these famous numbers here, Kat? Go back to the stat button, but now I want to go over to calculate. 1 var stats. That's where we're going to live until maybe, what's today? Thursday anyway. Okay, you only put it in one list. That's going to change in a couple minutes, but you've only put it in list 1. Calculate. Perfect. You guys know minimum quartile 1. If you keep scrolling down, you get the median, 2.5. All right, let me introduce you to another one now that's on here, and that's our mean. Mean, everyone ready? Mean, right over here. X bar, that's your mean, that's your average. Okay, that's also on this same screen. Okay, X bar. So I don't know if some of you may want to, because that's the notation I'm going to start using is X bar. All right, that's on your calculator as well. All good, because now we're going to go something slightly different. All right, now go to number 2. People's speed alert. Oh, okay, so they collected speeds of 20 vehicles. There's the display. Okay, this is the first time I've shown you a chart like this. I want you to be able to read this, all right? So if I listed this out, how many cars went 29 miles per hour? 1, right? How many went 33? So what I would do is write 33 out twice. How many went 34 miles per hour? Okay, I'm not going to have you do this, though, because we're going to go right to the calculator. I don't think anybody wants to write all of it out and do what we did above, if your calculator can do it like that. Okay? Now what we're going to have to do, one list won't cut it anymore. I'm going to have to put all this into 2 lists. All right? List 1 for my speed, and right next to it, list 2 will be how many cars travel that speed. So let's go back to the calculator, go back to your list, stat edit, clear out whatever's there. Be careful while you're typing. So 29, 33, 34, yep, 35, 36, 38, 39, 54, good. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yep. Now go to list 2, and how many times number of cars traveled that speed? 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 2, 2. Just take a quick peek. Make sure also your calculator will let you know, but also make sure there's a value in list 1 for every value in list 2. All right. Everyone all good? Got them in both lists? Because something's going to change now when we go to calculate. Okay, stat, calculate. We're still want to find the mean and the median here. We still want to find the mean and the median, so we still got to go where? Where's the mean and median located? 1 var stat, but here's the change now. You have everything in list 1, but then you're telling me how many of them are in what? List 2. So anytime you use 2 lists, L2 will be in your frequency list. Emily, I'll get to you 1 second. Everyone see above the number 2? You have L2. So I'm going to type that in, second L2. Ready, Emily? Just like yesterday, L1. And separate the 2 lists by a comma right above the 7. So L1, comma, now go L2. And you're all set. Okay? Everyone else all right? So now the calculator is going to take a look at both lists, calculate. There it is. What's my mean for this one? My mean's going to be 36.1 with a median of, on the same screen, a median of 35. Now let me talk right now. Here we go. Please focus in for this last part. Which one of those 2 do I want to, the 36.1 or the 35? Which number do I want to choose that represents the average speed here? You guys hear average, so you think you should pick 36.1, but that's not the case. I'm going to eliminate that thinking today. Okay? When is it appropriate to take the actual average, the mean? When is it, oh, sure, Sam, go ahead. What do you mean? Not necessarily. Okay? Hold off on that thought. You want to take the mean to represent the numbers when all the numbers are about the same. All right, they're all around each other. All right, so everyone agree 29, 33, 36, they're all kind of around each other. Is there one that sticks out as like an outcast, I'll call it right now? Does any of those speeds up here stick out like a sore thumb? Caitlin? 54. Everyone agree, 54 sticks out like a sore thumb. All right, we call that an outlier. If there is an outlier, I'm going to choose the median as the way to represent the set of data. All right, if there is an outlier, I am going to represent the numbers by a median. Because here's why. Let me give you a perfect scenario. We take a 100-point quiz in here, or test, whatever. All right, the average is 74, but somebody got a 15%. So does everyone agree whoever got that 15 threw our average off a ton? Everyone agree? So is that really the class average because one person got a 15 and threw it off? Is that really representative of the class, that 74? No, that's an outlier. So instead, I would want to take the median to represent this. All right, because what's the median represent? That's the halfway point. What percent scored below the median if that's the halfway point? What percent of scores were below the median? 50. How many were above? 50. So that's a little bit more representative if there's an outlier. Okay, so one last time, let me go through that a little slower. If there's an outlier, I want to choose the median as the number to represent the set of data. If there's no outlier, I'll take the mean. So answer part B now. The speed limit is 35 on this highway. Based on our results from part A, is that a fair conclusion that the average driver does this speed? Is there an outlier? Don't think average, I got to look at X bar. Is there an outlier? So what number do I want to represent this whole thing? The median. What was our median? 35, yes. Okay? So yes, that is a fair conclusion because the median was 35. And I want to take the median if there's an outlier. Last question we got to answer today. How do you know if it's an outlier or not? Like, what if I had 46 in there? That's a tough call, isn't it? If 46 was an outlier. What if I had 23 in there? That's a tough call, right? If it's an outlier. Like 54, without a doubt, outlier. It's way out there. I'm going to give you a way now to determine if a number is an outlier or not. Okay? What do I got here? I'll listen, sure. No. We're going to do something similar with these numbers we've been talking about, though. All right, so here's the last part of today's notes is how do I figure out if it's an outlier or not? Okay? Actually, before that, we got something else. So go ahead, calculate. We got Truong. Anybody know a Truong? Me neither. He's determined the average height of the high school male students, so he goes to the basketball team. We'll find out if that's a smart idea or not. And he does the heights of 14 players on the team, given below in inches. You guys right now, whether you want to do it by hand or with your list, calculate the mean and median. I'll get back to you in about 2 minutes. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. You guys want to do it out by hand because they're all in order already. by hand or using your list is fine. And remember, you're only using one list. So when you guys go to calculate, tell your calculator, list one only, get list two out of there. If you guys are using stat calculate, one var stats, make sure you tell your calculator you're only using one list. So make sure L1 is the only thing in there when you calculate it. All right, here you go. Let's roll. 4, what do you got for me? Mean first. 74, I have one more than 0.5, 0.6. 0.6. Yeah, one job. Come on, round it, Sam. You're better than that. How about the median? 7? 74.5. All good? Okay. Is this a fair sample to determine the average height of the male student in the high school? Is this a fair sample? A lot of you are saying no, you're absolutely correct. Why is this not a fair sample? Most, on average, basketball players are a little bit taller than the usual student body, right? All right, so no members of the basketball team are usually taller than the average student. All right, how to find if there's an outlier or not now. I am not going to read through this above stuff here about how to find an outlier. We're going to get right to an actual problem. So we got 8 students' test scores from a calculus course. Their grades are as follows. What's the mean and the median? Here you go. Here we go. Mean and median. You guys know the drill here. And I would suggest on this one in particular, you guys use your lists for this one, okay? Because I know what's coming up soon. Use your lists to figure out the mean and the median instead of trying to do it by hand. Hey, what do we got? Let's do this. Give me both. 30. Give me both here. Mean. 81.8. That's fine. Rounding to the nearest tenth. And how about the median? Okay, here we go, everyone. I know most of you right now, when I ask what scores an outlier, you're going to tell me what. Hey, and you're correct. All right, but I want to show you why 45 is an outlier. Also, what if I put, let's say I put 64 up there? You'd be like, I don't know. Could be an outlier, maybe, maybe not. Everyone agree? So let me show you the test to find if a number is an outlier or not. Here's the test. First thing, got to find the interquartile range. To test if a number is an outlier, find the interquartile range. Anybody? I wasn't here yesterday. How do you find the interquartile range? Josh? Q3 minus Q1. That's why I asked you guys to put it in a list. So go back to your screen, please. Find the interquartile range for me. Find the interquartile range for this set. 20, what's my interquartile range when you get it? 11, yep. So find the interquartile range. This is, again, the process of finding an outlier. You take your interquartile range and multiply it by 1.5. That's just the standard number to find an outlier, 11.5. You multiply it by 1.5, excuse me. 11 times 1.5 ends up being, what do we got here? 13. 16.5. Okay, there's the key number. Here's what you do with that 16.5. You take quartile 1 and subtract that 16.5. You take quartile 3 and add it to that 16.5. So how many scores are below that 16.5? How many scores are above that 16.5? So find your quartile 1 and quartile 3 again. Subtract and add 16.5. Hello, Emma. How are you? And what are the scores here I'm getting now? What are the scores I'm getting? 3. What are the scores I'm getting? Hi, Emma. How you been? You don't want to answer that one? All right. Easy way out. 17. What do we have? Where are we getting that? What was quartile 1 for you? Quartile 1 minus 16.5. Quartile 3 plus 16.5. Okay, 63.5. Ready, everyone? Any score at 63.5 or below is considered an outlier. So would my 64 be considered an outlier? Would my 64 be considered, is that below 63.5? No, so 64 is okay, but what's not okay? 45. Quartile 3 plus 16.5 now. What score do you end up with now? 26? 107.5. So anything at 107.5 or above would be considered an outlier. All right, that's how I determine if it's an outlier or not. I know, again, I get it. This one, very easy, 45. If I throw a 64 in there, you're like, maybe, maybe not. Find the interquartile range, multiply it by 1.5, subtract it from quartile 1, add it to quartile 3. Anything below, anything above. Yes, Hannah, go. Always by 1.5. That will never change. That's the standard number. Okay? Always by 1.5. So there is an outlier. It's 45. Go. What do you got for me? Jack, question? Oh, I thought you had your paw raised there. So what score is an outlier? 45. Meaning from what you learned today, which score would, what value tells the average better if there's an outlier? Median. Yep. Because an outlier throws off the average big time. Whoever got that 45, thanks. Questions? Okay, you can put the packet away. Let's go Regents. I thought we did a pretty good job with the Regents yesterday. Let's keep grinding it. Before I get to the questions I assigned today on the assignment sheet, anything from last night that I assigned on the assignment sheet but didn't get to and you were like, whoa, what's the deal here? Anything we want to go over? If not, I'm just going to keep going. Going. Okay. Let's do it. Let's start with 7. Calculator's ready to roll. Bless you. Okay, I'll give you a second, read through it. We'll discuss. Right in our wheelhouse now. It's talking about average. Okay, here you go. The average, hey guys, average. The average has to be between 7 and 7.8 for this to be a normal rating. Average. You already have 7.2. You already have 7.6. What's got to be the third one for an average? An average between 7 and 7.8. So I'm going to go through each of these and do what? To find out which one of these would give me an average with these two between 7 and 7.8. What's your suggestion here? No sleepy time now. 18. What's our... Okay, how do we get into it? I don't... The 7.3 fits in there, but that's not what it's asking. How do you know 7.3 works? Guys, that is not the question. Which one of those four fits into there? The question is, which one of these, with these two, makes an average? What's average again? Add them all up and divide by how many in this case? 3. So I'm going 7.2 plus 7.6 plus 6.2 divided by 3. Does that give me an average within this zone? If it doesn't, I go to the next one. Right? It is not asking which one of these fits into there. And unfortunately, that's the darn answer, but that's not what it's asking for. All right? So if you guys fit 6.2, are you going to get, what do you end up getting for the average? 7. Why doesn't 7 fit in there? It's not or equal to, so 7 doesn't fit in there. Now I go to 7.3. And this is why I hate this question. Because it does work, but that's not because it fits into the inequality. It's because the average fits into the inequality. Are we getting that there? Okay, the average fits into the inequality, not the 7.3. Questions? Yeah, we're getting fired up already just with the first one. Any other questions or concerns? Because now it's, this one's going to blow some minds now. Big Dan, 12.5 seconds to run the 100-meter dash. He calculated the time to be what? Minutes and hours. Oh, boy. Whew. Well, some are in minutes and some are in hours. So let's take care of the minutes choices right now. Seconds. How many in a minute? So I would try to set up something. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. Sorry. 1 minute equals 60 seconds, right? Everyone's pretty clear on that one? How many seconds did he run it in? 12.5 seconds, right? How many minutes are in 12.5 seconds? How many minutes are in 12.5 seconds? Should be less than 1, right? Should be less than 1. So I guess 750 minutes. Can we just, and I hate to say this, but can we common sense eliminate that one? 700, if he ran it in 12.5 seconds, that's going to be 750 minutes. Okay, you're better than that. So what are we doing here? To try to solve how many minutes are in 12.5 seconds. Oh yeah, 60x equals 12.5. Divide both sides by 60. How many minutes did it take them? About 0.2083 minutes, right? Minutes. Can we talk why common sense I can eliminate number 4? That's about a half an hour. 12 seconds, right? Half an hour, that's not going to fly, right? And this is about what, 0.20 of an hour? Yeah, yeah. Okay, now we're getting into ridiculousness. All right, everyone good? And also, you know what else? I didn't even mention it because I didn't even want it to come into your head. What throws kids off? I didn't even mention it. Anything else? The 100 meters, yeah, has nothing to do with it. Okay, the 100 meters has nothing to do with it. Right, it all had to do with seconds, minutes, and hours. All right, let me see you solve it. Go ahead, try this one on your own. Let me see you solve it. You can do it. I got to do hands off on some of these problems. Come on, you can do it. We get it. You're trying to lock your car. Just checking 10 more times that it's locked. You guys got this. Come on. Some of you may end up with the X on the other side from the multiple choices. That's okay. You'll be fine. What are you doing first here for 9? What are you doing first? Lead me through this. Here we go. Come on. Here's 17. What are you doing first? And what do you end up with? Next. 13. A lot of things you could do next. Okay, so you got 2 less than or equal to. Okay, I'm glad you did it that way. Next. 16. Can I move the 20 over first? Yeah. Okay, so 22 less than or equal to 2x. Now I can divide by 2. Does this throw anybody in a panic that the x is on the right and all of them are on the left in your multiple choice? How can I rewrite this? This is just x. I got to have this opening towards it, right? Greater than or equal to 11. Hopefully free 2 points for everyone right there. Free 2 points. Yep, good. Let's go. Oh, yeah. You think it got fired up before. Wait till this one happens. 10. Break it all down. Simplify it. Before I do anything, what should be done first up here? Let's go. 25. What should be done first up here? Distribute what? Go. Go, Hunter. Oh, this is when we first met. When I'd like some of you. Do we remember? Subtracting with that second polynomial. Something's got to happen. That's why I kept the parentheses up there. You have to change the signs in the second polynomial when you subtract. Change the signs in the second polynomial. Please, please remember that. So I have 3x squared minus 3 minus that x squared plus that 7x minus the 10. Change the signs in the second polynomial when you subtract. All right, combine all like terms so we can finish this bad boy up. 25 again. Let's combine like terms. Got the 2x squared on a roll. Got the 7x. Finish, finish. Minus 13. Yep. $11. What's the range? Range. Which values? Range. Y values. So tell me something about the y values of this equation. I would simply go to the graph here and look at your graph right now, everyone. Look at your graph, and I'll do the same thing. Tell me something about the y values. Graph it, and let's talk. Vroom, there it is. What's the small, because it's got a minimum, what's the smallest y value this bad boy hits? Smallest y value it hits. Negative, count it up. Or look at your chart, or look at your table. I don't care. What's the smallest y value this hits? Here you go, 21, smallest y value it hits. -9. Now answer this question. Are all the other y values bigger or smaller than -9? Are they all greater or are they all less than -9? What do you got for me? 9? Greater than, yes. So they're all greater than or equal to -9. If you want to write it, y greater than or equal to -9. Looks like we got time for one more. Yeah, we do. 12. Find the zeros. The zeros. X-intercept. Marco, another name. Solutions. Yes. So what should I plug in for y, aka f of x? 0. When is this equal to 0? And I see some of you guys going to your calculators, and that's fine too, but I just want a little practice with this thing we call factoring. Oh boy. Two numbers that multiply to this and add to this. Multiply to 6, add to -5. We got it. Be careful of the numbers you give me. This might be tricky. Got a pair of numbers that do so. 4. Got a pair of numbers? 6 and 1? -6, +1. Nice job, Sam. Nice. And then you guys know the rest. X equals 6 and x equals -1. And yes, you can also get them from your calculator. Be here today if you want to get some 2 points going.